Hi, Travis with Splunk here. So I was working on a project, building some dashboards in a new dashboard studio builder. It's funny, I keep calling it new. It's been out for a while, but I'm an old school Splunker. I think I started using Splunk back, 2009, and that was like version 4, where you don't even have the nice GUI interface for building dashboards back then, a lot of XML and whatnot. But enough about the history. Let's talk about Dashboard Studio and doing some things that I've shown before with classic simple XML dashboards and what I've found and how to get them to work and where to get the information to help you do similar things like pass a token from one dashboard to another. Now, I know that in recent releases of Splunk Core and Dashboard Studio, there is a thing called tabs. I'll probably touch on that in another video. But today I just want to work on passing tokens from one dashboard to another in Dashboard Studio, not Classic, because it is different. And I'll show you those differences. But first, let's jump over to documentation. First up, we're going to go into what is Splunk Dashboard Studio. Hopefully you've seen some of the other videos or choosing any newer release of Splunk. You've ran into Dashboard Studio Builder. Great interface to help build dashboards and make it easier and make really interactive or just beautiful looking dashboards. Next is linking interactions. There is a lot of things that you can do just similar to the classic simple XML dashboards where I was showing linking from one dashboard to another. You can link to a URL. There's link to search. There's a lot of different things that we can do. Custom URL report. But here is the documentation for that. I did get hung up the other day when I was building this dashboard for another project because of the multi-select and the text field, and the information I needed was sitting right in front of me with the apply token filters to multi-select values. And I'm going to go through and recreate what I did, even maybe recreate the troubleshooting. I'm not sure if that would be wise or just show you what happens if you try to use it like simple XML, because Dashboard Studio Builder is different, and especially how they handled the tokens passing from especially one dashboard to another. But here's the information. I wish, and I didn't follow my own rules where I go to Google and search for documentation. I think I actually ended up in the community and found my answer there. But here, find tokens, and this break S slash, not slash, but pipe S. Yeah, that was the key. And then token filters, I do have that here, so you can come in here and review the different token filters, how to set up, work with the tokens and whatnot. I'm going to go over a lot of that in here and start doing that now. Let's jump back over to my search here, which actually is a dashboard. And instead of, creating this one, all it was I ran a search. After that, clicked save as, new dashboard, selected Dashboard Studio, and I think I did absolute. So nothing earth shattering there. The search is very simple. If I click edit, come over here to pancakes and show you the search. It's just looking at Windows event log and the count of the different source type per host. Now, you may find this interesting and you want to do the same thing. You may say, why am I not just having the drill downs below here? And I agree. I could easily come in here and edit and start doing drill downs. There is these new tabs, which like I said, I'm going to, not in this video, go over tabs because I need to play with them a little bit more. But I will try to play with the tabs and see about passing tokens from one tab to another, because that could be another way to be able to drill down into information and keep it clean. So first things first, we are going to Actually, I'm going to create the other dashboard I want to go to. I was thinking about coming in here and going down to, click on the table here and come down here to interactions, add interaction, but I know when I go to link the dashboard, it's going to want me to select the dashboard to save this. I don't have that dashboard yet. I do have the search. So let me hit cancel. I'm going to open up another tab here. Then I'm going to run a search. I believe I have what I want saved over here. Be something like this. And then what I'm going to do, maybe I want to do a stats. Well, here, let's see what kind of fields are there. So if I look at the category, I can see, and the reason why I put category equals star, because I want to make sure that I get events that have the field category in it. And then from here, I can go and look at to my left-hand side menu and see there's a category, account management, log off, privilege use, vault, system. This is going to be a good example because of that space right there. Going to be a hint for later. I could use just category, and then I think there's even a subcategory. So we'll play around. And this is something that, when you're looking at this data, there's a lot of different information in here, so you can decide what fields or how you want to build out these dashboards later on. But I'm just going to show you more of the concept of getting one token from one dashboard to another. I'm going to say, I did that. Back up. Type, say stats, count by action. I saw that over there, and I kind of want to play with action, and I want to play with category. So here I got a bunch of actions. So let's pass from one dashboard to here to say, hey, let me look at all of the actions associated to that host name. So I'm going to click Save As, New Dashboard, call it those category view. And then I'm going to say Dashboard Studio, absolute, nothing earth-shattering, view dashboard. Now I have my dashboard, my base, start out with. From here, I want to try to decide. I want to set up the dashboard link and show you that. Yeah, let's do that. I'll show you the basic way to link from one dashboard to another. So I'm going to leave this alone. Actually, I'll just close it out. I'm going to come back over here to the original dashboard, win event log numbers. And we are going to, I've already got it where I'm in edit mode. Let's come down here and add interaction. Let's say link to dashboard. And I am going to, since I'm in this app, but you can select other apps, but I'm in search and reporting. And if I type in Windows, I should find, come on now. There we go. Should find that Windows category view. Your owner, private, shared out, whatnot. Open a new tab, yes please. And then token value. It gives you some ideas what you can use right now, but I'm going to call it, because I want to pass the host name, so I'll just call it host_pass. And then the value, I'm going to define the row I want to make sure that I'm passing the host name. So we're going to get rid of everything between greater than and less than, and I will say host. I'm going to click apply, and then it saves. So once I hit save here, save my dashboard and view, I should have everything highlighted in blue. So now it's interactive. And once I click on this, it's going to pass the value over. So if you look up in your search bar, you can see up here form. That's one difference I noticed between this and doing it in classic simple XML. There's no form dot. It's usually just the field name and what the value is. Now, of course, I haven't done anything over here to take this token in. So let's go ahead and click edit, because this is the dashboard that opened up in a new window. And what I would have to do is come in here and modify the table search. That's what gets what it calls that search. Don't, I didn't actually have an option to give it a name. So when you build a search, and I am going to put it right here. Hopefully you're able to see it off to the right hand side there, but I'm going to say host in, and I'm going to put in that token that I'm passing from the original dashboard to here, which will be $ host underscore pass $, and then close that out. Space here. And now should have, I click apply and close. And if you want, go into the title, the at host $ host underscore pass. When I'm building out dashboards, I do like to put this in the description or in the title, those tokens I'm passing from one to another, just to make sure I can see those tokens being passed. I'm gonna click save, view, and now we can see action and looking at the host. And if you really want to make sure, you could have came into that table search, edit, say by host action, apply and close. Then you can see there it is. Travis desktop and failure. And if I go and save, view, come back and close this one, come back over here and click on, yeah, I do Splunk all of my home computers. Helps me to learn. But here, you know, desktop, so I can see that the tokens are being passed over. But I want to go another step further. I want to be able to select maybe multiple computers, or I want to look at, hey, if there is an action like failure, can I see all the computers that have that action? Go ahead and click edit. I'm going to go back in here and remove. Oh, no, you know what? I'll leave the host there. But at the top here, I want a multi-select. Now, when you first get the multi-select, it's going to have, you know, item 01, 02, 03. You can use those. You can just delete those. I'm going to leave the all star in there. And I'm going to do this as I did it the other day, where I was thinking of how I would do this in simple XML and show you, you may be running into this problem and you're going, why is this not working? It's just the limitation of Dashboard Studio. No, you have to do things a little bit differently. So you may have came in here and said, okay, host, alt select. And then, oh, I want to give a different token name. So I want to pass, say, host 1, and that's the token name I want to pass down to my search here. And then from here, you know what? I remember from my other video, I could come in here and say $ host underscore pass $. And I'm not sure if I've done it with the multi-select, showed you all that with the simple XML, but I know for a fact, and here I've got it pulled up, I was showing you here with the text box, and this is the YouTube video for pass a drill down token from one Splunk dashboard. Maybe I should go back in there and call it Splunk Classic Simple XML Dashboard to another Simple XML Dashboard. But I don't know, maybe I'll update the description. Anyway, this is Simple XML, as you can, I can tell real quickly by how it is formatted here, where I can select radio, drop down, checkbox, and how this is all done, because it doesn't pop up a menu off to the right hand side. But here you can see I have a token field one, yes, and then the default, what I was passing from another page. So back to this one here, I'm going to kind of follow the same kind of logic, and then I'm going to get rid of this and get rid of this. Hey, you know what? Let's make that one the default, because I would love for whatever I'm passing over to default to that. All right. Like everything is saved. where I want it. And then uncheck this, uncheck this. Oh, look at that. It's already got desktop, right there. So it's got to be working, right? Let's go in here. And what was it that I called this field? Why is it coming up host pass now? What am I using over here? Host 1. So, you know what? Let's pass for new token or host. Then $sign host $1. Or I could have put that down in the description. And click save view. And okay. Huh. Seems to work. And it appears that way that it's working. Let's close this out. Come back over here. Click on Travis Desktop. And now it's got host pass. It did bring in the host pass token there. The new token doesn't have, it just has host pass. So I have to come up here and click on the token I want. And now it will pass that. But I go up here and click all and unselect that. Still there. Very good. But the problem I see when I first loaded the page, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So let's go and edit this. Let's go into the search for here. Everything seems to be working, except I'm still using host pass here. I want to say host 1 here. Apply and close. Save. Then view. All right. It appears everything is working here because now it's using the star, which was the host 1. And maybe I could have put this in here, but this is using token host 1, and this one's using that token host pass where it says Travis Desktop. So I'm passing this over. I could, make a match, be like this, and bring that information in. I'm going to close this out. And we are going to do this again with, say, Anna's desktop. And I get no results. I get host pass coming over. I see host pass up here, but I don't have anything. It's not passing, not bringing the token in, creating what I want here, and then passing it along. Now, if I come up here, I can click on the name that I wanted, and then the host pass goes away. So I'm not sure if, Splunk product team sees this. Maybe I'll reach out to them and ask them if there's a better way of doing this. Maybe there's something I missed. But that's what I'm seeing right now. Now, how I got around this, simple. And I actually was doing some digging and found somebody else talk about this, is it's because of the multi-select and the token name. And if I come in here and replace and use the same name, pass, and just leave it, I believe that's all I have to do. Let's find out. But I'm going to have to get rid of, let me go ahead and click out of here. Let me click save. Let me go update, because now I don't have this token for host 1. So I'm just going to get rid of that. And then I have to come back down here into my search and update it, because it was host 1. So now I got to go back to host pass. And I'm going to hit apply and close. And I mean, could I have left it alone? Sure. But the whole point of me wanting to pass a token from one dashboard to another, I don't want to pass it and then have to click on it again. I want it to take the value. Look, it already put it in here. And I want the search to automatically run. So now, just by using the same token that I passed from my original, which was host_pass, to this dashboard that I've created for drilling down further into this information, I've created that seamless. I click on a name and it then gives me updates the whole dashboard for that. Now, you may, I did mention something about being able to see other, like I've got actions here, I've got this. Maybe I want to see the other host in here. I mean, that's a simple fix. We can come in here and do a dynamic data source. So set up a new search. We could create a base search. I'm probably going to do multiple these. And so I'm going to create, I'll say index. Yeah, I want to see anything with index equals one event log, source type one event log, category star, all the categories. Then I want the host name. And what I've done before when I'm building out dashboards is I'll build them all out and see, sometimes I'll plan ahead which ones I'm going to create base searches off of, but sometimes I'll build out the dashboard and then go review my searches or start building them out and see if I can combine some of them. Because if you can do base and chain searches, you're going to have better performance on your dashboard. But here I want to do a dedup, can't spell, host, then I'm just going to table host. I just want distinct values, and I just need host. So if I hit apply and close, select value, it should load this menu, and you can see now I can go and switch between if I want. And if you don't like not seeing the job status, either do it two ways. We can create a markdown and then add something like job status. I've got a notepad over here with some searches. I don't have to type this all out, but I do need to know, what did I call that? Yeah, I think I forgot to job status. We come back over here and look at search one. I'm going to say post underscore select. Give it a name so I can remember what it is. And also, if you want the metadata search results to use this job status, we need to make sure we click on access search results or metadata. Apply and close. Here, I'm going to replace everything in the greater than less than with post underscore select. Coming in, hopefully I don't lose power while doing this. Go ahead and say save. Minimize this. I want to put this closer, maybe put it up here. Say save view. I'm going to restart from here on my desktop. And now we can see it's queued. See the job run and it's done. My desktop is selected by default, but I have all the others. I could say all and then get all the desktops, and it should have, I didn't even update that. That's funny. It did it so quickly. Didn't even update the job status there. Again, see if it. I wonder why it's not updating. It must be something with, it's got it queued or somehow, and it's not updating, but play around with that later. But here we do have everything working fine. I have it on host select. So, but we do have everything, working fine. The other thing that we can do, and I've done before, or if I was working on something else, I wanted pie charts. So I want to show you pie charts and making an interaction there. Now all I did was, can I know if zooming in or going to make that much of a difference? But pie charts, I'm going to have to go through and re-edit the search. I can actually drop this, or maybe bigger, because when I bring up the pie chart, you'll see what I'm thinking here in a second. But I want to go edit this table search because it just, when I Control C, that's all I did, or Command V for Mac users, but I Control C, Control V, copied everything. It was from this one over. I'm going to, wrong one. I want to make sure I update this one here. I'm going to rename it to, let's call it Action Pie Chart. I can easily know what the differences are here. And I'm going to take out stats count by action. Apply and close. This should update. And I'm going to, instead of table, I'm going to select pie in the right-hand menu. And we can see now all the actions. That's where it was, how well it was showing up on the screen there. I'll lower this one down a little bit more. All right. And I wanted one for category as well. Go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to copy this pie chart and make a duplicate of it. Bring this to the front. The layers. I'm going to bring this to the front and try to leave it up here. In the middle there. If you want, you can put it all the way off to the right here. I could put it in the search itself, but I'm just going to leave it right there. Now, right now, I have, because the way I'm doing it, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 searches running. Even if, because right now I just did action pie chart copy. Say I wanted category. I know you can't see that. I have my windows open. Although, I don't know if the mic's going to pick up the thunder there. Let's go ahead and hit apply and close. Now, this should say which action or category and action it is. So success and system. Maybe if I go back to my desktop, I think it was active. Yeah, I had a lot more action, whatnot. And yeah, we can sit there and play with sizing and this bigger, and hopefully this is kind of showing up, or you've got a big monitor and you can make it bigger, but yeah, that's the only problem with doing like I'm holding down control and trying to make the stuff bigger so it's easy for everyone to read. I'll find a happy medium there. But here I have nice pie chart so I can see, hey, there's some stuff going on. I'm gonna click save. I have this on all. I got an idea. If I have this on all, this will show me all the hosts. This will show me all the actions. But I have read here, but I have failure. Maybe I want to be able to click on failure and then get a readout of which one of these actually had failure, because I see the one failure here. Then I want more information down here. What more information would I want? How could I decide what more information? The easy way to decide is if you're at the view here, go down here and open this search. And then delete the stats count and get back to this view. And you can see right there, it's got my host in. And I've been using this a lot more than host equals this, host equals that, or whatever. I like this because all I got to do is just supply a value in here. And it's nice and clean. I do like this. But down here, I want more information. Maybe something like event codes, because there's an event code down here. There's subcategory. Message may get a little too messy. Other things that are down here. But I've already got what I want. A search that I did. I was kind of practicing this for the video. I do practice when I do these videos so that it's a little bit smoother. Oops. I hit shift. I need to hold down control. And if you don't know that trick, if you hold down control or command and hit the pipe, it will then, my first showed this search, it put it all in one line, but control pipe breaks up the lines for it. But here, I'm doing a fill no because I always worry, even though I'm specifying a category and a source type, you know, there could be fields that don't have a value in it. I want to make sure I put a value in there and double check that. And if there's always a value in there and you are 100% sure, you know, take out that fill null. But this is just kind of like my safety blanket. I'm going to run this and make sure data comes back in a format that I want. And you can see in here that, yeah, in the command, because I put command in here because I'm curious if it's, you know, what is the executable that's running. I know those executables. Maybe I can have a lookup sheet that looks for certain executables. Maybe command isn't the one I need, and I need to go back and look at logons and see if there's something else going on. But I'm going to leave it alone. I want to copy this, and I'm going to just copy this one section here. Go ahead and just go back here. I want to edit this search. Then I'm going to edit this table search and pop it right here. Now apply and close. It'll update this search and it should give me my fields. Yep. At host star. All right. Yeah, and it copied over even the title. So whatever I put in there. But now I've got more information. We can make this bigger. That's whatever you want to do. But I want to pass this token here. So let's start with action. And let's go over here down to interactions, add interaction. We're going to set a token. And I'm going to call it action. You can just leave it at action. I'm going to put a 1 there. I just, a habit of mine, in case I want to add multiple actions. I don't know if I really need to do that, but I just do it anyway. And then value, I want action field. I want to pass down the action. I'm going to hit apply. Oh, I did not set a, go back in here, click the crayon, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to put in star. I want a default value. Always have something there. So down here, I will need to, if I want to pass whatever I click on here, down here, of course, I need to come down here, update my table search. Then, you know, I'm going to do the same thing I did for this host pass. I'm going to call it action. So I copied that. We're going to say action. I did say 1. And I need to make sure I say action field. There's the field name and the value. Not sure why there's an extra there. And you can do the same thing here, command pipe, and it will break it out. And there's an extra space there. I'll just leave it alone. So now, if I click save and view, we should be able to see. And I could have went down here and went into description, filter on action, then $, action 1, and click there into another spot and then save. So now that when I click view, oh, well, I put that in the wrong spot. I was on the wrong, as I didn't want it here. And probably somebody's going, hey, you're putting it in the wrong spot, but I can't hear you. Now, there we go. Filter on action failure. So now I can see what I am clicking on up here to pass a token from here to down here. All right. I want category as well. Maybe I want to, you know, keep this on all, which right now I can't go back to all. Wonderful. I've got a workaround for that. I'll show you that here in a second. Or like I said, I want to show category. I also want to show you why the multi-selects break, or I believe even this pie chart will break when I go over to category. So let's first get that set up. Click on this chart here. I forget to rename that. I did, or I forgot to save it. Let's call this category. Then cleaning up the names here. And apply and close. I'm going to click on it again. I want to come down here to add interaction. I'm going to do the same thing with the token. Set a token. I'm going to give it a name. I'm just going to call it cat1. Then the token value, I'm going to say which field, especially with a pie chart. I'm going to say which field I want. I want the, because if you just say value, it'll grab the value. And you're like category equals 6, and that's not right. But here I'm going to say the field is category. I can see, oops, I need a capital C. Make sure your fields are case sensitive, so make sure you are saying that, typing that out correctly. Tab, now it should update that. I'm going to put a star in here because if you don't, that will cause problems. If you want to see it, I can show. But down here, that's how I looked real quick and see what my field names are because I had it down here. And now, once I hit save, oh, I got to update my table search. And the same thing here again. I want to add that into here, paste there. And my token value was cat. And the field name, that's always nice when you double click a word, it gives you that category. So now apply and close, which now should be set to that's interesting. Search results returned. What did I break? Save, view, start over. Event log, I must have mistyped something, but let's just start over anyway and see if it breaks when it first comes up. So I get all of this and it comes back here. Interesting. Okay. If I click on, say, vault, oh, I didn't edit. Come down here, filter on action equals that. Say, and category $sign cat sign. I'm gonna here click save view, and now I can see vault. So it works fine there. What happens if log on, log off? Yep, it passes that fine. And this should update, which trust me, it may take a second, but it should work. But I want to grab privilege use. See what happens. It breaks. Now I wish I could, if I was doing a workshop right now, I'd be like, who knows why? I know why. Back to edit. Because, well, here, let's go and open this search up. So if I ever have a problem, I can always open the search and see what's going on here. And then look at stats count by, I can look even up here, category in privilege use. Now the problem is that space, and I kind of hinted that, 30 minutes ago or whatever. I forgot how long ago it was. But yeah, the space right there. So I'm going to wrap that in quotes and rerun this search. And then I'm going to realize, hey, that's the problem. Now you may think to yourself, and I've hinted to the real fix, but I'll show you what I ended up doing. Like, okay, I'll just wrap it in quotes. And it works for pie charts. It works for just clicking on one value and sending it. I'm going to come over here. I want to go to my table search. And just like I did there, I'm going to wrap stuff in quotes. I'll leave action alone. But this category, because it does have spaces, So if you have a value that has spaces, you need to put quotes around them so that it works properly. New Zealand, new space Zealand, United States. There's a space there. Now, like Japan or Germany, there's no space. Russia, I mean, there's no space, so it'll always work without having the quotes around. Anyway, I hit apply and close, and this search should work now. Take it a second, and it does. This is great for pie charts. Be able to see, because I'm only going to click on one value. If I click over here, it's only going to send that value. If I click here, I can't do multi-select here. Another thing that we could do as well is pass a token. So if I click on something like this, maybe I want this chart to update to what's being reflected over here. So if I look at account management and boom, I got like whatever, failed instant. Well, let's go see what it does. So I can come into here. Let's edit this search. And let's say, I actually had that still saved from earlier. I'm going to move that though. I'm going to put that front here. Action, apply and close. Oh, wait a minute. I got it backwards. Back in there. Now I have to call this one category. Then I need to call this cat1. Now apply and close. Save. Matching results returned. Interesting, why not? Would I break again? Oh, I know what I broke. I got the space. Guess what I forgot to do again? You go back in here and wrap this in quotes. Click apply and close, and now it will come back with results. And then I could do the same thing over here. Say, I want that action. I could say, bam, apply and close. Right now it should be on star because I didn't click anything over here. But yeah, it should be on all because I didn't click anything. If I click something now, it should just show me all of the pie charts or all the things that have success. I could put the token name up there and whatnot, but you may be going, this is great. How do I get back to all? How do I get back to where I can see everything and start over again without having to see? Could I just hit refresh? It starts the dashboard over. Yes, it does. Oh, it still remembers my last value. So what can I do? What I've done is create a multi-select. I also want to show you multi-select and the trouble with spaces. So here, I'm going to get rid of values. I'm going to call this because I want it to pass the same value as that pie chart. I'm going to call it cat1 as well. And then I'm going to say category. So, and also another thing I can do is use, and this is where I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 searches running at the same time. Am I really going to create another search, or should I be using one search and then redoing all of my searches to follow that line, that base search? I should. I really, really should. So how can I start doing that with this? Let's create a new search. And I want to look at here. I think if I remember correctly, all of them are starting with that index equals. Go to host select. It's going to be no, that's not be the best one. Now there is some like host select. I will always have to have 2 searches, possibly 3, depending on how you're doing it. But here I know that every one of my searches are going to have a lot of this information. So I want to create, cancel a search here, but I'm going to get rid of this category here, the host in with that category, and I'm going to leave host in there. I'm going to leave time range as default. Then I'm going to call this when base 1. Yeah, we'll just call it that. Apply and close. Then from here, I could come in here instead of here with the pie chart. I could go in and use that base search and then put in these categories and stuff in there, but I was playing with that earlier and it caused problems. Oh, win base 1. Yeah, I need to adjust that. I didn't mean to create it there. Going to delete that one. Going to set up a primary data source. I want to create a chain search, and then I'm going to say win base 1. I'm going to make it where and I want to make sure win base 1 has that. I'm going to say cat underscore select, and then in here I want to do the same thing I did before with the host, except the host one doesn't have the host in. That alone. Here I'm going to say dedup category type dedup, not dedup, table category. And so my data source dynamic, I don't need these values. I'm going to leave as a default as use default as star, save. Then if I go back here, I should have all of the values that were here. Now, if I wanted to, I could make this be interactive where I click on something, but right now it's on privilege use. If I click all, it's going to go back and rerun my category back to all, and you can see now I can see all my actions. Same thing if I want to do maybe I don't want to, maybe I want a text box. This is another difference between how you edit a text box and the available token or just available options. But right now I'm going to call this action 1. And then let's say action put, not a selection, it's an input. But we can see action 1, since I put that in there, the last thing I had clicked was success. So it's got that in there. Update that. You start over from the beginning, make it clean. Click on Juju. So here we can see per desktop, I have all my categories. I have the default value of star for my action input, showing all of that. If I click on read, because I just want to see the read, you can see it updates up here. It should then update over here to say only account management, and action is read. I can scroll through all that, but actually there's not that many events. I can look at success and show you that it can change back and forth. Success also gets read. I don't update there, probably because that's interesting. On read, they saw read. I know why. Because when I click on success, I'm not filtering down on action over here. I'm only filtering down on actions over here. So if you really wanted to filter on actions when you click on a pie chart, I mean, you could do that. We can come up here and even type in the word read or whatnot. Back to star, rerun this search. I hit the enter, you can see it started updating. And if I come back over here and click on my desktop, see how it's going to update here. I can say, hey, privilege use, go up here and see if it breaks or if it's going to work. It works just fine. Now, where it's going to break is right here. And everything breaks, except of course this one here, because this one doesn't filter on cat1, which is my category filter. And that's because if we look right here, and then I'm looking at my filter action, star, and category is privilege use, log on, log off. If I open this search and show you what's going on, if we look at category N, our quotes are around the whole thing, which then breaks because privilege use needs its own quotes. So to make this work, I'd have to put quotes here and here. Rerun the search. You know, I've got privilege use quoted, and now I got log on, log off. I don't really need log on, log off to have quotes around it, but I can't have quotes around the whole thing. I need to have each value wrapped. How do we do that? And that's where I spent way too long the other day. Remember, if I were to just go to multi-select and read this apply token filters to multi-select values, I would have saw it right here. And it says this will, you know, your multi-select values include spaces that break your Splunk search processing SPL unless you use token filter type S. So let's go back. Won't work here, so I'm gonna go ahead and close this because we know what the problem is. So every instance of where I have that filter, which you can see where it is, we need to go back and edit. Let's edit this one here. Go edit the search. And this is where if I were to go in and have a base search, it would work. And I will show you. Right now, I have this quoted out, wrapped. I can't just come in here and do a, before the $sign, do a pipe S. If I hit apply and close, will still break. Second. Interesting. Let's look at this. Okay, try this right here. I thought type S. Oh, you know what it may be doing is double quoting, which it somehow works that way. That's kind of weird. Hit save view. Go here. Yeah, it's double quoting. So I guess it would work. I will stand corrected. I mean, if you really want to do that. But because I have quotes wrapped there, and then it does end up wrapping the quotes around privilege use and log on, log off. I'm going to clean it up though. I don't want it to do that really. I mean, I guess you could if you needed to for some other instance or some other situation that you're in. Let's go back to here and I'm going to get rid of this, clean it up, apply and close. Then a table search here, rid of this and this, apply and close. Really going to be mad. I've been talking for a long time here and I haven't stopped and saved this recording. I'm going to do that with all the thunder. I'm going to power surge happening. Me lose. Okay, I'm back. I just did like I said, I hear thunder and lightning. I've been talking for a while, longer than I expected actually, but I mean, this was hopefully helpful so far, and going in deep into just doing a simple thing is passing a token from one dashboard to another, and then even passing the tokens and working around those spaces if your values have a space in them. But yeah, I don't want to lose. I think it was like 46 minutes I talked straight there for. Wow. But here we have, I'm going to click save. View. Now we have, that's sensitive privilege use, non-sensitive privilege use. That later. Where I can use multiple values from a multi-select and not break. That looks good. And then I can pass, hey, I see modified, or if I come back here and say all, I'm going to deselect these other two. I mean, I could have hit clear all. It's going to reset my token values back to star. So that's kind of how I get around. A little bit ago, it was like, okay, I've drilled down, but now I can't do anything. Why can't I do anything? So, or why can't I go back and filter? If you have a better idea, let me know. I may play around, see if there's a better way to reset the filters without having to actually reload the dashboard. I mean, that's one way that I'm doing it right now, and it gives me another way to come in here and select. If I do see something like log off, I mean, I could just type, I could come in here and make this a multi-select and have that as there as well. Or, if I want to see what was the category for read, and then which boxes, I can come back up here and say all, say which boxes have the same thing with read. Maybe if I saw something over here that said failed, may not show up for, and if I don't remember if it's failure, failed, now I can just enter fail star. There is no results for that. Hey, good. Just do mod star and show you that that will work. So yeah, modified, but using a wild card. All that was, I don't think there was anything else I wanted to really go into anymore. I mean, I am, what I would recommend if you were following along and building out the same searches is I would definitely recommend making sure to use, like here I've got a pie chart and here I've got a category pie chart. They both are kind of using the same thing as my selects up here. I could create another, instead of having, how many searches do I have? I could come up here and create another search. I could try to use this base one. Let's use this base one and modify these. So let's go ahead and create. If I look in here, I can copy this, or actually I can copy that to a notepad. Over here, create a chain search. Say at chain. One. That's what the base is going to be. What I would have to do now, I do want, I'm going to have to go update. I'm going to go need to update my my base search because I want to make sure I include all the fields. That's just something I've ran into a problem before. Do that real quick while I'm thinking about it. Cancel. Let me go in here. I've ran into a problem before where I've had issues with fields. Whoops. Not passing correctly. Apply and close. So now it's going to make sure it includes all my fields, that when I start doing stats counts in my base searches, and I just remember having a problem before. Cat I chain. Parent will be base 1. Then I need to do a search. So it will action. I'm going to update this one as well because I did put category in there. Then I can see the difference between when I do click on action, it's showing only the categories that go with that action. And if I click on category, show me only that category in this pie chart because I can always reset it back up here. So right here, I'm doing a search. I need to attach, doing basically a sub search or another search on this search. So my base search is going to bring in all this data. Then I'm just going to attach these secondary searches to that base search. And I'm going to deduct category, not what I want here. What I need here is now type stats count. That's there. And once I click those, I have that. I'm not using it yet. So come in here, delete, then use by chain. Now it's working there. Do the same thing for action. So once again, I'm using this. So hit cancel, move it. I'm going to set up a new one, base. And now I'm going to, got ahead of myself there. Oh, I had a hiccup there for a second. That was in real time too that you saw. Interesting. Oh, that's interesting. What's going on there? Okay, so it's using, it lost all of my, well, I have to do it again. There, let's set up my primary, create a chain search, select, practice makes perfect, right? Oh, and I gotta go back through. Man, it, I don't know what happened there. You saw a real life glitch in my network, whatever was happening here. And then gotta redo that. So grab that search, go, pop it here, base, right base. That's why you save often. That's count by category. Call this cat by chain, apply and close. Then, oh, so look, no search results returned. Go back up to my base search because I did the pipe fields. I want to add everything. So plus star. I don't know how well that's coming up on the screen. That is a plus and that is a star. I didn't say that earlier. Hit apply and close. Now it should hit save and view. I don't think I have to hit view. Good. There we go. So you can see I did mention earlier that I like to make sure to put that fields plus star in my base search, especially if I'm not doing any kind of stats or transforming commands. If I'm just doing a really just a base search, you can add that fields. Make sure to include all the fields. If there's only certain fields that you want, don't put the star, put plus in whatever fields you want. So I click save, and we're going to do this again. And actually, before I'll just create another chain search here. Call this action. I for chain. We are going to select the same win base. Yeah, I just, same thing. I could have copied it from the other one, but I didn't. Pipe, that's count by action, apply and close. Still unused because I need to come in here, delete. It worked this time. Save, because now it's just showing modified. And this one's only account management. You know what? Let's get this one also on table search. Let's get it not being different. And I'm going to have to do a search where I have, and you know what? I'm going to just copy everything but post. I'm going to hit cancel, delete, create a search here in base. Did it again. What I want to create change search. Got ahead of myself again. Let's say table chain. Now we want to select base search, type this in there, and search, action, category. Need this in here. Yeah, I don't need this in here because it's in my base search. And did I go to? I don't believe so. Sure. That, but yeah. Same thing. Stats count. Know what I also add in here? Port negative count. So I can see top values. There we go. Now my search is working again. I'm going to click save. You want a star here. Hit enter. Rerunning the search. There we go. Everything is working wonderfully. Now instead of, yeah, this is a much longer video than I expected. Instead of using 1, 2, 3, 4 searches, I'm only using, oh, and I was, yeah, 1, 2, 3 searches. Now I'm only using 2 searches. And if I wanted to build off, like say, if I want another pie chart over here for host, I could definitely do that. I could come in here, create another pie chart, copy, and have host up here. You know, I can make this really interactive. But that's how easy it is. After you've already built something, you want to go back through and figure out, you know, how can I optimize my dashboard? How you can do that, or you plan out ahead of time. And I could have went into my base search. If I really wanted to, I could have went into my base search. I could have put in that action in that category here, and it works. But there was, I have to go back because when I was playing around with it, there was some caveats to doing it that way. Well, you know what? Why don't I just, yeah, let's see what happens. I've already had your attention for long enough. You can pause and take a break, bathroom break, and come back. But you know what? I want to see. That was not the one I needed. I want to see what happens when I take out this little section right here. All right. And put it back into the base search. I don't, you know, it's been a while. Up here, edit this base search. I'm just going to add it to the end here. Apply and close. Then I'm going to take out this because I don't need it in here twice. Apply and close. So by doing that, I've effectively, if I wanted to add another filter up here, or if I wanted to change my token, instead of me having to go into each one of these panels, oh yeah, I need to come down here and table one here. I don't have to go into 3 panels. I can go into one base search. So maybe I should have created another base search. Then I have 3. It really depends on how big your dashboard is getting and how many panels. I do have one that has like 30 panels on it. using one base search, and I just use that pipe search across the whole thing. Now, you may have to look at your base search. Maybe it's taking too long to bring in all that data. You have a real lot of data, and you need to maybe look at that as well. And that's why you might need multiple base searches. I'm going to click save, click view. You know what? Let's start over from the beginning. And let's click on my desktop and make sure everything works as wanted. There we go. So it passed over my token value. So I'm looking at my desktop. I have action equals star down here and category is star. It may be really hard to see down there. I just highlighted it, kind of in pink there or purple. Didn't even get the right color. But now if I come over here and click on, say, log off, it should go through and update. And now I can see just the log off for my computer. And then maybe I want to see if any other computers had the same problem. So now it's going to go back through and see if anybody else had any of the same problems. Apparently not, only my computer. What happens with this back to star? I don't remember if I set a default value. I'm going to hit enter. Force it to rerun a search. Let's see here, account management. That one has, oh, I don't have host back in here. So if I really wanted to edit, go back to this table, add host back into this. If you really want, you can put underscore time. Want to know a time that happened. We can even have this be a drill down to then drill down to another one below it. But down here, account management, get account management here. So I can see, yeah, multiple account managements. We have success and we have read, and there's the read. I wonder why that's still highlighted. That's funny. If I only want to see the reads up here, I can come over here and click, oh, there's modified. Let's see which ones are modified across my Windows servers. Okay, just mine. So this was a lot of data that I just threw at you, but hopefully I've shown you the power of Dashboard Studio Builder and the ability to pass tokens. I wanted to show you me failing and the steps, because you may be experiencing the same thing. So if you're not and you just want to know, maybe fast forward a little bit. If you're at this point and you've already watched the video. But hopefully this has been helpful, even though it's been very long. As always, if you have any questions, leave it down in the comments, and I will keep working to make more content. And I do appreciate the subscribers I had. I think if I go back to this here, what was it, 795? So thank you for everyone who has subscribed, left comments. I do appreciate all of that. So as always, happy spelunking, and see you on the next video.